In this episode from the National Local Government Customer Service Network, we're going to be bringing you Carol Lewis. She's a fantastic speaker, lots of really good information. Her keynote speech was outstanding. So I hope you take away a lot from this. She's from an organisation called The Human Equation, and she really is a human communication specialist. Give her a look.
It's my great pleasure to be here. As some of you will recognise me, I did a couple of workshops at your... Can you hear me, by the way? Is that okay? Some of you came to a couple of workshops that Pauline organised last year, and I really enjoyed the opportunity to work with you in those workshops. So I feel really pleased that I've been asked back to give you a couple of sessions today. I have called my session, what have I called it? Come in the Full Circle. That's the theme of your conference. But I'm also called it Thinking Outside the Square. I want to push some of your thinking a little bit beyond what we've been doing. And I know Ram has said you've made some fantastic progress in the last 3 years since he's been working with you. But let's look at how we can really push those boundaries a little bit more from today. Now, you've all been on your harbour cruise. I know some of you are tired from the late night, not that last glass of red wine you had. Right, so I thought what we would do to start today's session is something a little bit different, to get you thinking in a different way, and also to get some oxygen into your brains. It's interesting to note that Barry O'Farrell, after the 2011 election, Boff, as my 10-year-old son calls him, particularly now he's, drunk his $3,000 bottle of wine and to go. So the New South Wales government, after the 2011 election, made service improvement a priority. They created the role of Customer Service Commissioner, which sits in Premier and Cabinet, and they had a dedicated team focusing on this. So my experience at Service New South Wales was not an accident. It was the result of a deliberate focus on understanding customer expectations and designing the experience accordingly. Who wants to go to one office for, your business name licence, another office for your driving licence, another office to make your housing commission payment? Someone finally cottoned on to, just put it all in the one place. You save a lot of rent as well. And so this focus, I think, has been very strategic of theirs, and I reckon it's working. I had a really great 9 minutes in Service New South Wales. Back to this topic though. I just put a snapshot here of your 2012 benchmarking report. I don't know that every member council participates in this, and I suggest that you do. I think this is really valuable information. But have a look at that performance. It's pretty good, isn't it? Service level agreements, you're exceeding those, 101.3%. That means you're actually exceeding them, not just meeting them. So I reckon this is a pretty good performance that local councils are coming up with. But when is good enough? Right? This is your problem. In contrast to my earlier comments on universal service and comparisons with Amazon, could you be in danger of setting service standards that in fact over-service your customers, particularly when you are competing with scarce financial resources? Working within the universal concept of service in local government creates a conundrum for you. You have universal rising expectations which you will never 100% satisfy. You have a captive customer base which must be satisfied, and you have no money. So here's your conundrum. Okay, so how do you manage this contradictory position? And what I'm trying to do is get you to think outside your service centre. This is a broader issue in local government. What I think, because I am opinionated and I have multiple soapboxes, I think nurturing this deeper understanding of what your customers expect is something you need to do, but it also requires a revision of the way we collect and utilise customer feedback. My thoughts are echoed in the IPA paper, which says customer needs, priorities and demands have to be carefully interpreted. We're very busy collecting all this information, but I don't know that we really use it properly. The people element, I hope you like my gender equal closure.
It's also something else, it's also racially diverse.
Yes, I know.
Something we don't talk about, but it's got to be mentioned.
It's probably racially diverse. One of them has a disability and probably one of them is gay.
Well, there you go.
Okay. So my passion is around the people and your team. So your people, your teams. And here are a couple of suggestions very quickly, if I can steal 90 seconds. Look at your council's workforce plan. Your HR department will have one. What does it say about the profile of your workforce? As we said yesterday, most of us are facing the prospect of replacing retiring workers with new and younger talent, and that is in short supply. So this represents an opportunity to define what you really need in terms of skills, and more importantly, because skills can be acquired, just ask Tina, innate behaviours. What innate behaviours are you looking for? So have you thought about the skills and behaviours that will really drive your service operation to new heights, and how you can tap into the talent that younger generations will bring you? Suzanne has already cottoned on to that with her gun team for web chat. That's an excellent initiative, and she'll be able to spread that expertise once it's embedded initially. So think about younger generations and their total comfort with emerging technologies. I've had my 2-year-old nephew staying with me, and his mother says, "You want to watch Sesame Street?" And he goes, "Yes." And he goes and gets the iPad, he swipes it, he puts the passcode in, he finds Sesame Street, and he turns the volume up really loud. So I go and turn the volume down, and he turns it up, and I turn it down. He's 2. It's amazing. So they're totally comfortable with technology. They have never known life without the internet. So use that technology to write your specifications for systems changes. Use that to test new systems and enhancements. Why does ICT have to do all of that? They don't understand customers. And then, Rum touched on this yesterday. It's about how you attract younger people. What's in it for them? I quite like his strategy of the exit date, but from an HR perspective, I do have a slight problem with that. Yeah. And don't forget, our education system is producing workers who are trained to analyse, research, make sense of those huge amounts of data that Michelle scared us with yesterday. They are taught to problem solve at school, and they're taught to work collaboratively. So are you actively looking for these skills at recruitment stage, and how do you build them into your service operation? You can allocate defined activities to these people with things like, right, you're responsible for data analysis, you can design the reports, you can go and talk to ICT because you understand their lingo and you've got good collaboration skills. And just you can go and talk to the comms team because you understand about communication. Are you doing that? So I suggest that you need to think about designing the customer service job for the medium to longer term now. Work with HR now. What are your job descriptions going to look like? Is it all the same, answer the phone and handle this and ensure that? Or is it going to be something more exciting that's going to engage the people who are more technology savvy? How are you going to reward and recognise these people? That's probably going to have to be different to how we do it now. And I've been talking probably a little bit too much about sitting side by side with your staff and understanding the customer experience. But are you using that data to give individual feedback, cascade it down to the individual level, that you're doing a really good job or whatever? Or do you still have the collective pat on the back for the customer service department? And Rum touched on this a little bit yesterday. You have good, experienced people in your teams. How are you going to support them through this transition? If they only have on their professional development plan this year, go to refresher EEO training, it's not going to help them. Support them through this journey, recognise and celebrate their contribution, and help them find new challenges with dignity and support. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching our broadcast on the National Local Government Customer Service Network channel. I hope you got lots of hints and tips and tricks that you can use at your council. The case studies were great, the information's been great. I hope you're enjoying it, and don't forget to visit our website. See you next time.